Call Lord Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Kakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well over the flock. Shalom and salutations to you brothers out here pushing the words of truth and sincerity. Shalom to all the Akim listening, all of the elect. Shalom. The Ohio Players made a song called I Want to Be Free. And I was listening to this song where he's singing about his dealings with a woman and how he'd rather be out of that relationship. And I'm thinking about the woman America, which is the woman that sitteth upon many waters, the whore, that great whore in the book of Revelation is referring to America, and how I can't wait to be free from this woman. Lord willing, I can't wait. We waiting on Yahweh Shah. All right, wait ye upon me till I rise up to the prey. And the song was just pretty much fitting, so I thought I'd throw that in for brothers who care to check that one out. Now I had a vision, a dream. I'll leave it up on this. I had a dream in which I was four-wheeling on some like construction site, and police was around. I guess it was kind of chasing me or whatever. And so I got to a point where the police was gone, the four-wheeler was gone. I'm still in the construction area, but then a multitude of brothers and women was just around. First man I saw was Apostle Rakar. And Apostle Rakar was very happy and asking me a few questions. And it was business as usual. But he was very excited and calm. The next brother I saw was a brother Ra'ah from GMS London camp. And the head brother out there, Ra'ah. And Ra'ah had his braids in, and he was happy, and he was calm. He was happy than I ever saw him. I saw Ra'ah came in at the same time as a few other brothers. By the way, another brother's family member was there that's pretty popular. I just thought I'd throw that in there for that brother. She was actually there. I was surprised to see her. And then Ra'ah came in with two other brothers. So I saw Ra'ah greeted that brother. He greeted me back. And then I saw Paya Allah, who is not in the camp at this moment. As soon as I saw you, brother, you kind of was tearing up, and you turned your face away. You teared up like a lot of passion, you know. And I'm sure brothers don't know that I was very close with that brother, even with all these 3,000 miles away across the pond, as they say. You know, brother being from England, we used to talk all the time. You know, conversations on the phone and WhatsApp. And so, shared a lot of, just good conversation, man. Like kindred spirits, pretty much. And, when I remember him telling me, he ain't in the camp no more, and that was pretty much the last time we spoke. It was just a quick disconnect. That the Lord will do that sometimes, test your spirit and show. But when I saw you in this dream, brother, which I had this morning, you teared up, you were crying, you were very sad, and you turned your head. You didn't want to, as if you didn't want to see me to see you cry. Nobody else did that, but even after that moment, I kind of teared up inside. I said, damn, because I felt that, for what it's worth. I miss speaking with that brother, and so I was sad when I seen that happen, go down like that. Now, a few other brothers was there. I don't know you by name, but different camps were there. Different brothers from different states across the world, different places across the world. It was at least maybe 25 to 50. But then I woke up. So it made me think, well, what the hell was that dream about? And out of all the scriptures that I thought of, it wouldn't be right for me not to read this. Daniel's 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. Thy people is Israel. No way around it. From the beginning, from the naming of one of the sons in Genesis, Peleg, which means division, when the Lord divided the nations in their tongues, since that time, even of the Tower of Babel, when the Lord divided the nations and adjusted the rest of the nation's inheritance according to the children of Israel, meaning children of Israel got hit the first. When he set up that he would choose one nation above the rest, Deuteronomy 7:6, from that point on, the Lord had not changed his mind and never will. The Lord is not a man that he could lie. He is the same today, same tomorrow. He does not change. And so we know from the understanding of the Bible that the children of thy people are Israel. So Michael's going to stand up. The angel Michael, the powerful angel Michael, will stand up for the elect of the nation of Israel in that day. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time. A lot of you Bible-thumping Christians, you're not speaking about the time to come. You're speaking about, oh, it's going to be so much peace on earth, and you jump straight to the good times. What about the evil that is about to exist in this world like never seen before? What about that? As we can see here, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time. Hebrew Israelite camps, where's the mentioning of the hell that we about to be facing? It says, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. The book is talking about the book of life, everlasting life, the book of the ones that are to be saved and delivered out of the hell that's about to come on the earth, including martial law, including famines, pestilences, diseases, chemical warfare, including thermonuclear fire. To be saved and delivered, your name got to be found in the book. Guess who has the book? The Father, the Heavenly Father. 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake. This is talking about reincarnation. People out there still beating their head about reincarnation, saying, well, that's the Eastern. Y'all got that from the Eastern custom. Where do you think the Bible originated from? Where do you think the Israelites originated from? Where do you think the Adam and all of these, Noah, where were they? How don't you know the place where Noah's Ark rested was Mount Ararat? And I don't want to butcher that, but I'm going to look that real quick up and see exactly where is Ararat. We are people from that side of the world. Look, Mount Ararat, Turkey. Turkey. You know where Turkey is? It's north of Syria, which is north of Lebanon, which is north of Israel. It's in the Middle East. It's in Asia Minor. It's in Asia. All right? So that's where we're from. Let's go back here and let's go back here. So many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake when they're reincarnated. After they're dead, then they come back. Some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. When I saw you in my dream, you had shame. You had shame on your face. Brother, I'm not saying that you are one of those that are going to return in that day to shame and everlasting contempt. I'm saying in my dream, you had shame on your face when I finally greeted you again. I don't know if that dream was the kingdom, but it felt like it. It felt like it. And I was surrounded by brothers of different states. There's only one possible answer I got for that to be happening. Either we up on them chariots or we in the kingdom. Part 2. Not part 2. What am I talking about? Let me go down here to verse 10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. We are the few of those that desire to be made white, tried, and purified by the Lord's afflictions, by the Lord's dealings with us. And we understand that many are not going to be purified, and the wicked shall not understand. Now, I thought it was reasonable because I'm sure from what I hear, it's just simple how it goes. Sometimes the scriptures tell you some fell by the wayside, some fell by the thorns, some seeds fell by the thorns, and when they began to sprout and they rose up, then the thorns choked them, and the plant died and gave no fruit. And then you read down, and it tells you that those thorns symbolizes the cares of the world. The thorns symbolizes the worries that you hold on to and the cares of money and things. So what you can take from that is that the Lord expects you not to be caught up in worry and caring about what happens to you, what could happen to you in this world, in this life. This life, the cares of this life should be non-existent right now. The longer you be in this truth, the less you should really give a damn about your life. Immediate. What happens to you, what happens to your seeds, you got to be completely given over into this duty and this calling. Got to be all about it. And our greatest examples are apostles. We see how they are. Because you'll be rewarded for that. And if you don't know the rewards of the Bible, you need to study them. The rewards and the benefits of being a Hebrew Israelite, a believing member of the elect. Matthew 6:25. I'm reading from a different version. I'm not sure which one it is, but I proofread it, and it's pretty much on point. It's very similar to the KJV. Matthew 6:25. Therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. And which of you, Salakia, are you not more value than they? And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his span of life? Yahushua is saying, why you got all this worry? Why you got all this anxiety? Why you burden yourself extra? Look at the animals. Look at the birds, for instance, and tell me, do they worry about where they get their food, or does the Lord provide for them? And all that worrying, can you add an hour to your life? And it's already proven that worrying and anxiety can take away hours from your life. So it's pretty much counterproductive to do all that worrying. Matthew 6:34. Therefore do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. The KJV says, sufficient to the day is the evil thereof. What you need to know and need to fully understand is that you worrying ain't going to change a damn thing, except take your mind off from what it needs to be on. There's something called RAS, which means reticular or reticulate activated system. You can look it up. It's a philosophy meaning a person can only focus on one thing at a time, and that's spiritual. You can only be fully focused on one thing at a time. You got people that say, well, I can multitask. You're technically not multitasking. What you're doing is you're focusing on one thing, and then you quickly turn around and then focus on another thing. And then you quickly turn around and focus back on that last thing. But you can only focus on one thing at a time at any given second. Which is why the scriptures tell you you can't serve Yahweh and Mammon. While the Lord says, choose ye this day. While Joshua said, choose ye this day. Me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. Who you will serve. Which is why scriptures say a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You can only concentrate on one thing at a time. So the Lord is pretty much saying, if you're anxious, or if you're worried, and if you're troubled, you're not going to be concentrated on this work, on doing this job I'm doing. I need you to do. On the labor. Think about when you're at work and you're trying to concentrate what's at home. I don't know about you, but when I go to work, I need to forget about everything that exists. Because I got to focus on work. Or else I'm messing up. Or I'm like a burden to everyone else. So, don't worry about tomorrow. Because tomorrow going to take care of itself. And it comes with its own problems. Man, worry about today. What can you do? If it's above your means, then it's for another time. You can do a little bit at a time, a little bit at a day. You don't even know what tomorrow calls for. The Lord might send you somewhere else in the world. The Lord might send you to the heavens, spiritual world. Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. What about that? What about the fact that the Lord told us He's going to give us rest? Do we believe it? Then why are you always worried? Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. The Lord is telling you, let's trade loads. Let's trade burdens. Give me yours, which is heavy as hell. You've been carrying this on your shoulders since the day you was born. You grew up worrying. Your mama worried. Your daddy worried. Your grandfather worried. You come from warriors. Y'all ain't warriors. Y'all warriors. Give me all of that you got on your shoulders. And you take this light little shovel. And begin to work for me. And I'll take care of all of this stuff. The Lord's telling you. That's what He's doing for you. Rest here. But what does Israel do? They continue to worry. Even after saying, God got me. Even after saying, I'm blessed and highly favored. Then you turn around and start worrying. That's showing you don't really believe. You don't truly believe. Luke 12:25. And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his span of life? John 14:27. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, I give to you. So the Lord is telling you, I'm giving you peace. And what is that peace? Is that a piece of the pie? Well, in the kingdom, the reward for laboring for the Lord is that you get to share the pie. You'll be joint heirs, according to Romans 9, with Yahushua in the kingdom. You will be rewarded for your works. But the peace that the Lord is leaving us and gives to us in this day is a peace of mind. But you have to protect that with all cost. That's number one, your peace of mind. There's a saying that if you want to help poor people, don't be one. Meaning you can't help somebody if you're in the same damn situation. So the peace of mind is to have a stable mentality, to have sober mind, sober thinking, to understand the scriptures, to be thoughtful and mindful about what's to come on this earth, continually fervent in prayer, seeking the Lord. John 14:27, right? I'm still reading. Not as the world gives, do I give you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid. So you're not supposed to be troubled and afraid. That's not the peace that the Lord gave us, to be troubled and afraid. He gave us the peace to be understanding, to be wise, to be circumspect, to be mindful, to believe and trust on Him for everlasting life, for direction, so that He can lead us into the way of salvation. Because we're constantly meditating on the scriptures and the things to come. As I read before, Daniel 12:1 tells you future prophecy and how we're steadily approaching that time. As you can see in America, race riot, I'll take that back, sedition amongst men is on the rise like it's never been. Like it's never been. And we know it's a psyop. But when you tell a lie enough, it becomes hard for people to decipher the truth. They don't even remember what the truth sounded like anymore. And so the average person is out here thinking that there's a real war, a domestic civil war that's about to begin. And so they got the people right where they want them. And order comes out of chaos, according to the New World Order in Masonic, terms. Order ab chao means they need a chaotic state in order to bring their order to come to pass. Colossians 3:15, and let the peace of Yahweh Shai rule in your hearts, to which indeed you were called in one body, be thankful. The one body we're called in is this truth. The one body we're called in is the love and care for the brethren that we show and exhibit daily. The peace of Yahweh Shai, which rules in our hearts, is the ability to cast all our cares off of us and be content with what we have, because we understand the outcome of the situation is that the Lord is going to deliver and save us, Lord willing. That's what our faith and our belief is all in. And so as we do that and put all our burdens onto His lap and He carries it for us, we do our easy deeds with dignity and with diligence. And we're happy. We're happy at the light affliction that we have, because it's a lot less for one, and it brings back more reward. But you got to be mindful that you already gave Him your problems. He already put you in a mindset of peace when He gave you this word, when He helped you with this understanding. Why now choose to go back? Why now entangle yourself in the things that will bring you back to that old mindset before you came into this mindset of peace in Yahweh Shai? 2 Thessalonians 3:6, now may the Lord of peace Himself give you peace at all times in every way. The Lord be with you all. So now we understand that the Lord is with those that acknowledge Him, have repented, turned back towards Him, and seek Him diligently and fervently, do His will, which is to teach, to preach, instant, in season and out. So now the Lord, in return, gives you a spirit of peace, a mind of peace at all times. So now we're not as them now. Now we're not as we used to be. We're born again, and the Spirit of the Lord is dwelling within us. So we're not worried all the time. This is how it works. This is how the Lord works for you, even without being here, through His Spirit, the Rakah Kodash, putting you at ease when you would have been troubled. When all hell breaks loose, when the times of Daniel 12:1 comes to pass, you'll be at ease. That'll just be another trial of your faith instead of the world coming to an end. That'll be a trial of your faith. Instead of, OMG, this person died, what are we going to do? You'll be thinking, the Lord, our power is one. You'll be thinking, call Allah, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. Deliver me from the wicked. You see? Psalms 55 and 22. Cast your burden on the Lord, and he will sustain you. You need sustenance. You need help. And the Lord's arms is not short that he cannot save. So we're in the proper place we need to be, man. Or exactly where we need. His wings are spread over us, covering us. And we believe it. And so we don't worry and get tied up and entangled into the cares of this life, because we know that it chokes them that do. So all our burdens is casted on the Lord, meaning we cast it on his shoulders. And he replaced our burdens with his light burden. So now we just going to ride out with him in that faith, in that same mentality, in that same belief to the end. He that endureth unto the end shall be saved. And he will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be moved. Proverbs 12 and 25. Anxiety in a man's heart weighs him down, but a good word makes him glad. 1 Peter 5 and 7. Cast all your anxiety on him, because he cares for you. Philippians 4 and 6. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to Yahweh. And the peace of Yahweh, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Yahushua. The peace of Yahweh, which surpasses all understanding. Why? Because in order to obtain that peace, you first have to understand. You get the understanding, you get the wisdom, knowledge, and the understanding. All right? Scripture says, wisdom is a principal thing, but with all I get understanding. And then you have the peace that comes with the understanding. Oh, Yahushua is going to deliver us. Oh, things are going to get worse. But then Israel will rise at the end. The Lord, there will be a war, Third World War. Nukes will take place. Oh, but the chariots will be there to deliver us out of that fire. That's peaceful thinking, man. And so, as the world pretty much turns upside down, you'll be fine. You'll be okay. Because you prayed for this. You begged for this, for salvation. The Lord's about to give it to you. All right? Matthew 6 and 33. Seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. It's what we have done. It's what we continue to do. And all the things that we desire or require or is needful of us, more important, for us to continue. We don't need much to continue to do this work. We don't need much to continue to show our love for the Lord and the brethren. We don't need much for making our call and election sure, except to continue what we're already doing. But the Lord is going to add things to you and give to you, because you saw them. Hebrews 12 and 1. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Yahushua. Constantly focused on Yahushua. Oh, man. And doesn't that just sound better than worrying about what you're going to eat, what you're going to wear, who watching, how expensive this is? That stimulus check hit the bank account yet? You know? Did my girl love me? Just worried about all this other, man. Fix your eyes on Yahushua. Why? Because reticulated active system. You can only focus on one thing at a time. Focus on Yahushua. That's peaceful. Yahushua, the image of Yahushua in your mind should be a peace. It should be peace. Yeah, he said, I cometh with a sword. Think not that I'm come for peace, but with a sword. But that's for his enemies. For his elect, for his chosen. He called his friends. He was up on the cross for us. The pioneer and the perfecter of faith. Right, the scripture says author and finisher in the KJV. Pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of Yahweh. So he did all of these things so that we can focus on him. Psalms 23:4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, and your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Like I said, I'm reading out of a different text, but they're all very similar. The Lord got us. Hebrews 13:6. So we can confidently say, the Lord is my helper. I will not fear. What can man do to me? Isaiah 43:1. But now thus says the Lord, he who created you, O Jacob, he who formed you, O Israel. Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name, you are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. Through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. We go back to the lineage of Jacob. If you're Negro, Latino, Native American, you're a Hebrew Israelite by biblical nationality. That's who you are, and a lot comes with that. That's why you're cursed. That's why there's something called generational curses amongst your family. That's why you're not, other people, including so-called white people, aren't plagued as you are. Because the Lord judged us because he loves us. Amos 3:3. And he brought us through many obstacles and trials. Our people as a nation. Egypt captivity, Babylonian captivity, the Mede and Persian captivity, Greco-Roman captivity, American captivity, bringing us through. It says, and through the rivers they shall not overwhelm you. When you walk through fire, you shall not be burned, and the flame shall not consume you, for I am the Lord. And the Lord actually did that when he put Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego inside the furnace, a fiery furnace, when Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar put them inside there to be burned for their insubordination. And yet and still, the Lord sent an angel to cover them in the midst of that fire, and they were not burned up. For I am the Lord your power, the Holy One of Israel, your Savior. We have a Savior, Israel. We have power in the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. That's why we call upon it so often. Luke 21:14, then 18-19. But make up your mind not to worry beforehand how you will defend yourselves. For I will give you words and wisdom that none of your adversaries will be able to resist or contradict. But not a hair on your head will perish. Stand firm and you will win life. Comforting words. Hebrews 12:1, therefore, read that. Jeremiah 29:11. For I have known the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope in the future. KJV says an expected end. Psalms 46:10. Be still and know that I am Yahweh. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. And it reminds me of the song I was singing. The song I left up here in the beginning, which was Ohio Players. I want to be free. You know, check that song out. You'll probably enjoy it. Because that's what we want. That's what we desire. That's what we need. We need to be free. We need salvation. We are going to continue to die here in America. We're going to continue. Micah 2:10. This is not your rest. This place is surely pollute you. Why would you want to stay somewhere where you're being polluted? Vaccines with chemicals in them that break through the brain barrier and stay in your brain for years. Why would you want to be a part of this? Think about it. But do you even really want to be a part of this thing that we dying for, called America? That we dying in, called America? Where they can just scapegoat all our conditions and turn it back on us. Well, you killing you. True. True. A lot lands on our shoulders. And if there was any men in Israel, if there's a man in Israel, he should be saying that our people are killing each other and acknowledging that that's wrong, that's evil, that's wicked. But when did it be cool? By who and when did it become cool to kill our people? It became cool through slavery and through the indoctrination of our people. We learned everything from you. You broke us down, beat us up, and we learned everything from you. And now we're coming back to the Lord, and look how you talk about us for returning back to the Lord. The black Hebrew Israelite cult, extremist group. And all we talking about is don't kill each other. Love each other as the Lord loved you. And shine your light upon those that are in the darkness. And we're black Hebrew Israelite extreme cult groups. So you control the narrative, and that's why the narrative is negative about us. But that's cool, because once again, we focused. Be still, Psalms 46:10. Be still and know that I am Yahweh. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. I'm going to stop right there. Lord willing, this video is edifying. Until next time, Shalom.